been seeing that in places, and I'm just like, you know, whatever. People are like, I don't get, like, I'll get nothing out of hating someone I'll never meet. I'm like, okay, don't judge anyone then, right? Fuck it.
There was a German guy that hated some people he never met. Can't think of his name.
I think it was Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, that was it.
Punt Funk. That asshole.
Louis Armstrong. Remember that song he sang? Give me some people I can hate on.
Oh, damn.
So I'm just gonna pack this bong. Itchy's rolling a joint. And Necro's eating some chili before he smokes, I'm sure.
Yep, that's exactly. I got this weed sitting next to me, like, bro, smoke me, and I'm like, it's chili.
He's got some cheesy, stringy fucking oyster crackers chili, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of a bread and butter kind of guy.
Nah, my brother, see, I like oyster crackers, onions, bit of sour cream, cheese. My brother is sliced bread, peanut butter.
Peanut butter, huh?
Yeah, they
That's
used
just
to do that
wrong.
with the, that's old school. The public
just
school
wrong.
lunches used to do the half. You never had peanut butter with your chili?
What
That's
I
just wrong.
what I eat peanut butter with is chicken noodle soup.
That's just wrong.
It's good. You can dip it in everything.
Mm-mm.
That's how I lived in the fucking when I worked at the lumber mill place from the 1920s lumber mill. I would just eat fucking chicken soup and fucking peanut butter sandwiches.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about. Like, I probably would never do it, but I'm not here to judge your American experience.
I'm not gonna do the. I'll try a lot of things. I might try peanut butter and chili one day, but I don't like the sound of it.
It is really, really good. It is. I just don't. I personally also don't like. I don't like it as much as the rest of my family does.
I am a big chili dunker, but I'm sour cream cheese if I can for my chili, and then just like good room temperature butter that you can spread on just a regular piece of bread, not toasted or nothing. I love dumping that shit in my chili. That's my heaven.
You know, my dad was a B&B man, and it came with everything. He made soup. You gotta don't forget your B&B.
See again, I'll say that I did do it for chicken noodle soup, and the reason that I also would dip it and stuff, like it wasn't terrible, but you try eating some dry ass just peanut butter sandwiches while you're working hard as fuck, you know? If you can dip that shit right in the soup, try to eat as fast as I could. I gotta get back to work, bro.
Gotta quench my thirst on a hot summer day with a gallon of milk.
Honestly, it was. I worked there in the fucking winter, and it was awesome because you would leave like huge like Gatorade bottles of water there overnight, and they would like almost freeze up, but not really, and it was like cold, awesome water. So, since we're mostly all sitting here smoking, what I figured was, I figured we could like just try to roll off of one topic to the next. Like, someone will start with a topic, and then we'll be like, we'll talk about it for a minute and try to roll it over to something else. And so I figured I'd start off this topic, start off this discussion with something more on the fun side, I guess, right? Because I got some dumb stuff that I wanted to talk about. New research has shown that the reason cannabis actually has its THC producing pistils is those crystals, the little fucking pistils that come off the see-through little mushroom things when you get close up. There's a new theory that those are actually like to block out UVs. Like it can also take it in and try to process them, but it's a high mountain climate. Like you could say it's a tropical plant, but a lot of it comes from like its roots come from the fucking Hindu mountains or what the fuck ever in like India and in the Middle East or whatever. And so like high mountain plants, like it's fucking. They're saying that THC is sunscreen for weed essentially.
Oh, I don't think so. I think the potency in which it affects like universally a bunch of different animals means that it's there so that animals will eat it.
Yeah.
Animals will know from its distinct smell and other shit that they're gonna eat that, and they're gonna remember they got high before, and it's gonna spread seeds.
Well, also to encourage eating it is because I'm gonna say it like
Don't agree with Itchy.
maybe like it's a mechanic sense though, because this is like it's like when a problem happens, like what caused this problem. It's usually not one thing. It's usually like one or two or multiple things that have gone wrong to cause a problem, right? Like if you're really trying to diagnose some kind of issues. So I'd say the same for like why cannabis has teeth. That's why I said it's a new theory. It's just interesting that it's UAV or fucking like it's like a sunscreen kind of. But I do agree because it's like what I noticed growing those plants outside is there was so many small fucking bugs that had got stuck to those pistils and just died. So like predatorial bugs were already around looking for that, but like even like the sense of scavenger bugs come around to have an easy fucking meal. And I mean that is, you know what I mean? Like more things would come and eat other shit.
I also read that when it comes to managing pain, cannabis is no better than a placebo.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I agree with that.
That was something I said to Lizards when she had her
feel
teeth
about
pulled.
that.
Well, alright, so me and Crow have talked about this a lot way back in the day. And we came to the conclusion that weed, it doesn't numb your pain necessarily, but it makes you more capable to like to focus that the pain's there, but to focus on something else. So you're not just sitting there like in pain. Like we
Okay,
like
yeah,
if you're like say you smoked a joint and watch a movie while you're like really sick, or if you got like a broken leg or something, it's gonna help you like just not focus on that fucking pain is all. It's not gonna kill it. But that's what we came to about it. Is like it is more like a placebo, but it's like with weed, you know, you could be eating or something and you're way more into it, right? So it helps you just deter your focus, in my opinion.
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite. I don't like to eat when I'm stoned at all. Like, I keep light snacks around for that shit. Like, my favorite time to eat is like beginning of the month when when poor people get paid. So like beginning of the month when I'm stoned, like I have no anxiety about wanting a snack because there's carrots and celery and some apples and shit around.
Well, I guess
Like
I'm not trying
I
to
like
say
eat dinner before I smoke weed.
I'm not trying to say snack anxiety, but it's like, you know, when you're fucking, as the adults say, stoned to the gills, and like you're just mowing on some shit. I'm not saying you have to enjoy, but like when you're really stoned and you're just in that stereotypical stoner zone, you can be like all in on just dipping those fucking carrot sticks for a minute. Like the rest of the world does not matter anymore, and you're just like, I'm dipping this in some fucking ranch, and it's delicious.
Yeah, I'm having the last of a cup of cold coffee, and I got a giant glass of water next to me. But after I finish my meal, I'm gonna have the cancer stick, which is, I know I'm an idiot,
But
but then immediately after I smoke my weed because I got a full belly, everything's nice and settled.
you're doing the smart struggle thing that people do, right? You eat first, then you smoke your cigarette, and then you get high. All of your addictions are met really quick, or all your needs, and you can just try to enjoy your weed. And the thing about weed is, like, if you ever feel too anxious on weed or whatever, there's a few ways to get rid of that, and one of them is just eating a lot. And that's, again, I talked about this to other people, like, just start eating. Like, you'll get less high from eating. Your body just subconsciously digesting will just make you less high, in my opinion. But
No, you're right. That's one of the reasons I don't like eating when I'm stoned. That's why I'll keep light snacks around for it. Because like when you eat, it increases like your heart rate. And I don't know if weed's going through your bloodstream or not, but like,
yeah, weeds in your
it's
blood.
like mixing a stimulant with a depressant. Like it's like when my brother, I don't know, my brother really loves drinking coffee when he's, and I'm like, bro, like, you know, if you mix stimulants and depressants, you're just getting more sober.
Mixing uppers and
like,
downers. Yeah,
It's like the drugs are in effect, but the stimulant effect of the caffeine and the relaxing effect of the marijuana, they just, for me, they don't mix.
You're stoned and fat.
I understand, like, saying that it's like negating one another. Sometimes people be like, oh, that cancels it out. But yeah, I'll disagree just in the sense of like I've done a lot of drugs before, but I really tried to sit there and like feel the differences of drugs.
Speedball.
Yeah, speedballing. Well, in a less hardcore way, I mean like taking Valium and then Xanax and then smoking weed, you know. And
taking two Ambien,
Those are
two
all
X-Lax, and playing
downers.
chicken in your sleep.
But I will say it is like it's a unique, different kind of stone because it's like yeah, actually, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to just straight sedate yourself? Like you just want to go to bed? Take some Xanax and smoke some weed. You'll sleep for 3 days.
My favorite high out of anything is literally just like after a really long and cold and miserable winter, when it just gets nice out again and like you're out in the sun
And you can
like,
smell the
dude,
life.
Exactly, you just smell the season change and it just hits you in the face.
It is so nice after like it's because there's like the thing about winter, like the worst part about winter is the wind, right? Like that's what you're dealing with and what you'll remember the most is that cold, dirty wind smacking you all over your body. You know?
It's the ice. You gotta
Oh.
drive or walk anywhere, it's just the ice.
Oh word.
It's also like I don't know about you guys, but like wintertime, I feel dirtier.
Yeah. Because it's like artificially warm inside.
I don't just because I constantly change my house filters and like may or may not have a lot of like living plants that blow new oxygen around.
I don't even have a thermostat where you pick a temperature. I have heaters where you turn them up or down.
I used to have a car like that.
Yeah.
Like the heater stopped working, so we just wired up a switch so it had 2 modes of operation, all the way on or all the way off. So it was just like a little toggle switch. You'd like flip it on until you were sweating your balls off, and then flip it off again.
It's orange, the orange juice. That's how I felt at Mimi's at our grandma's because you remember I was
heat never worked in that car.
No, not the car. Living there in the trailer because I lived on the fucking
that fucking uninsulated porch.
Yeah, I lived in an uninsulated fucking porch, and it was just, dude. I actually still have the heater. Like I brought it up. It's exactly right now for when I was trying to save money and I turned my heating system off and I just tried to plug in a heater. But dude, when I hate shit like that because like I'll tell you guys like I have weird dreams or whatever, but it's because of like where I live and the things that I have because like you'll see things that remind you of shit, right? And that's how I felt when I brought up fucking our grandma's heater because I was like, oh my god, like all I could remember is struggling in that fucking porch, like in the middle of winter, like it's fucking -3 outside, and you're on a fucking porch covered in windows. And you're sitting there with your friend with like a TV on and the game system next to a heater, fucking
There's
trying to eat some ramen.
Stove, mere feet away from the room that you're in, but it does nothing.
Nothing at all. Yeah, not for me. There's again though no insulation. Like there was a metal roof and like that regular plywood fucking floor and the trailers had the skirting, so like there would be wind going under that shit. But anyways. Fucking we'll try to go in like a Jackbox fucking circle. Well, I'm gonna actually go to fucking Itchy. What's something interesting you found this week or whatever?
So, have you seen the Rick and Morty game that just came out?
I saw like an Unreal Engine thing, but no, I don't know. What's it called?
It's not actually a Rick and Morty game. It's called High on Life.
All right.
Headcrab was playing it. It looks pretty good. It's funny.
It looks good. It looks funny.
I have
first
concerns
original
about
game
that.
in a while. Why?
It looks really cool and it looks really fun, but I'm worried it won't be good for a second or third playthrough.
No, not really. It's not about the gameplay. It's about dumb shit like how. Oh my god, he was just going and watching, like, you know how Rick and Morty has all the commercials that they do that are like just random shit?
Yeah.
So like you can just walk around in game and there's like ads running on certain planets and stuff. So like if you walk up to the thing, you can just sit there and watch ads that are just like that for
just
a very long time. And they have this really hilarious cringe movie. Like it is just the most it's like T-Rex something, and it's like an old movie, and it's just so.
I did see this
They
somewhere.
have a whole movie in there.
I think like they were talking about it this summer. We were watching something, or maybe it was me and Biggs. There was some kind of like gaming announcement or whatever, and you know what I'm saying? They had whatever the fuck it is, like the E3 or whatever, where they show
Did
shit.
that say JB Smoove, isn't it?
I thought I heard that.
The concept of the game is that like you your house aliens invade Earth and your house gets warped like into space and you have to
You're gonna turn your
fight
whole
like a
planet into
space
drugs.
cartel. So these aliens that have this cartel that are coming and attacking your planet, they smoke people to get really high.
All right.
And they smoke people in like this other race, and your gun. So you can pick a bunch of different guns, and like they all look different or whatever, but they're like biological, so they're just like living.
Yeah, they're alive little
things.
things. I looked up the video because I when I saw the video, I know I seen it before somewhere.
So like you can go through the whole game picking dialogue options, and whatever gun you have, that person voiced that too. So you get to kind of pick your whole own like narrator, kind of.
What the fuck?
Weird.
Itchy, have you ever heard of Doctor Sleep, the unofficial sequel? It's not unofficial. It's the official sequel to The Shining. Stephen King wrote the book, and then they did a movie about it with Ewan McGregor playing the little kid from the first movie. And they rehash a lot of stuff, but get this shit. There's these monsters that hunt down people with the shine, and they call these monsters the shine steam. They're like vampires, and the only way they can get the steam out of somebody that has the shine is by physically torturing them. So essentially, they smoke people to get high.
Yeah, it's I guess that's a lot like this game.
It reminded me of
when I saw the game, I was like, so it's like Rick and Morty crossed with Doctor Sleep.
I like how some of the enemies in the game run up to you and they're like, "Fuck you!"
Yeah,
they're just screaming dumb shit.
I like during the beginning when he teaches you how to aim down sights, but his face is right in your face, so he starts whispering to you. "You're doing a good job."
It reminds me of fucking Futurama or whatever. Fucking what the fuck? I can't believe I can't remember his name from Omicron Percy. He ate that fucking hippie or whatever, and he's
Lur?
like, yeah, Lur, and he's like, I think that hippie's starting to kick in.
Yeah. Yeah, but the game, like, I feel like they pick good music. It looks cool and like it's funny.
Yo, who made it though?
Justin Roiland, like it. So obviously, people who know how to code games coded the game, but like Justin Roiland, the guy who did Rick and Morty, and the first gun that you get is literally Morty's voice, but they don't reference Rick and Morty at all. It's a different universe.
No, I mean, do you know who the company is that made it?
I'm trying to find right now. It's actually not saying right away. Oh, it's Squanch Games. So that has to be their own.
Looks like Justin Roiland drew the logo. Yeah, he founded it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I thought at first that he was just a voice actor in it, but no, the whole game is his like idea and work. But you know, people who know how to code games are coding the game. Obviously, he's not. I don't think he's doing that. I don't think.
Honestly, that's exactly if I could get as lucky as that motherfucker.
Bro, he's the CEO. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would invest money in if I started getting stupid money. I'd be like, yeah, I'm breaking into the video game industry. I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna make games that I think are fun.
And yeah, like it's the first game I've seen in a while.
Video games, cocaine. That's what you need to sell if you want to make it.
I feel like it's the first game in a while that isn't just some dumb ripoff of another.
I gotta agree with that, but at the same time, like, it's the old man in me. Like, while I look at that game, I'm like, okay, so it's a first-person shooter where you get some kind of like dash power to close the gap, and your gun gets some powers, but it's voiced over. Like, how much of this is original if we start stripping away little bits of the humor? Is it just a funny first-person shooter, or is there something cool and neat about it?
Yeah, is it fucking Super Mario 64?
Remember that game Bulletstorm?
It's not Super Mario 64. Sorry, I've never played Bulletstorm.
I do remember
Bulletstorm's neat,
Bulletstorm.
right? Like there's a lot of really cool ideas in Bulletstorm, but there's nothing original in it, and I like all they really did was tell a lot of like dick jokes. They were funny dick jokes. Don't get me wrong. I laughed my balls off playing that game, but I was like, this is a good game once. Right, like this is we're not talking about Monty Python levels of humor where I can watch, I can't even fucking think of the movie.
The Holy Grail, Life of Brian.
The Quest for the Holy Grail. I could watch that movie 30, 40 times. Like I couldn't play Bulletstorm again if you paid me and laugh at it the same way I did the first time. And I guess that's where I'm coming from, like my concern with Justin Roiland's new game. I'm like, yo, I like everything you've done. Like I was there for House of Cosby in the Channel 101 days. I was a fan prior to Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty made me more of a fan, more aware of who he was. And I'm like, okay, so that's the guy from Channel 101. And he's with the founder, Dan Harmon. Like this is whatever they make together is going to be good. So I have faith that High on Life is a good game, but I'm concerned that High on Life is going to be Bulletstorm, where I can't play it twice.
Well, that's like, I don't know. That's like
funny in a Stanley Parable kind of.
Well, even like,
you know what I mean?
Well, it's like,
yeah.
If you can enjoy it once, sometimes it's still worth it though. Because like the past few nights, I've been like trying to find like I was like, I want to watch something funny, so I started watching some Invader Zim episodes again, which were fucking funny. You can't remember everything, so I'm sitting there laughing at the chicken foot episode. But I was like, oh, you know what episode of Invader Zim I haven't seen a lot is Enter the Florpus. I only watched it once, so I watched it again, and it wasn't crazy, but it was like, like you're saying, I'm not gonna sit there and watch it a million times and this is a masterpiece. But it's so hard to like I'm a bitch about that. Like I constantly want new material from things that I love, right? So it's like even if it's a one-off and I can actually like laugh at it, because like the reason I say that is last night I was like, well,
ton of time in it. I feel like after looking at Headcrab play it for just a little bit today, you could spend as much time as you want really slowly going through this game to get it the right way. I feel like.
But and then I feel like that's the right way to do it, because like we don't always find the same shit funny. Because last night I'm like, oh, I just want a feel good movie. I just want to sit back and laugh. So I looked up IMDb and I was like, all right, what am I gonna watch? Like I'll just watch whatever is a funny movie. And the top rated funny movie on IMDb right now, from when I just searched it anyways, was fucking Step Brothers, right? And I was like, I remember this movie, like people laughed at it a lot and stuff. Like I'm gonna watch it, I just want to sit here and laugh. And like in 2023, man, Step Brothers is such a shit, unfunny movie. Like I fucking maybe got like one laugh out of the whole movie, and like that's kind of really shitty, right? So it's like, but when you say how you're a fan, Necro, it's like maybe I feel like it's worth it to give it the one shot so you can go through it, and at least enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I just need that escape, like I want to fucking just go watch this. I'm gonna watch Key and Peele skits. Not because they're a complete masterpiece, but I kind of just want to laugh at dumb shit. But
no, yeah, you got a good point. There's a lot of I own a lot of dumb shit when it comes to that. Like I've got my games that are only good once, and I still own them.
I've got those.
South Park Stick of Truth.
Right.
South Park Stick of Truth was good once.
Yeah.
And I still own it.
I didn't really care for that at all. South Park stick.
Pieces of
South
shit.
Park game.
I thought it was.
It was it was yet more proof that Obsidian as a company at that time they had a track record of and they had a track record of only working with other companies once. And Stick of Truth continued that trend.
I think Stick of Truth, like, I don't know. I thought Stick of Truth was amazing just because, like, obviously it's simple once you think about it, but I was still a noob. Like, I wasn't even a PC gamer yet when Stick of Truth was coming out. And when Stick of Truth came out, I was like, bro, like, this is a fucking episode of South Park and the graphics. Like, it blew me away in that aspect. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is just actual South Park.
I felt the exact same.
Cause I used to be playing.
But that was Trey Parker and Matt Stone being like, listen, every game that's ever come out with South Park on the box was just a giant ripoff. And you know, like some of them they even recorded voice lines for, and they were like, the next time there's going to be a video game, we will write it. Because at that point they had rejected shit, and the shit they had rejected had almost made them want to make episodes of South Park about it. Like people were like, hey, we're gonna make South Park underwear for kids, you know, like underoos. And they're like, you know, this isn't a show for kids, right? Go away. You know, and they'd be like, hey, South Park guns that people could shoot. And they're like, dude, fuck off.
Fat Nick did
South Park snacks. So when they were like, we're gonna write our own next game, and like they deliberately picked Obsidian, and then they learned the same lesson that, like, you know, BioWare, Sega, like you name a company that has worked with Obsidian, chances are you're gonna find out that company worked with them once.
Well,
And I am the biggest Obsidian fanboy. I like. The Outer Worlds was an Epic Games exclusive. Guess who spent money on Epic Games?
right. I was pissed
You know what I mean?
after it came to Steam, because I was like, fuck, I could have just waited for it to come to Steam.
Bet
And
you
I
were
love that
complaining
game.
by the time it came to Steam, though.
Yeah, I mean,
love that game. That game is there's one of my topics right there, boys.
all right, we'll go right to the topic. Let me.
I love that game because it's all about the excess of corporate stupidity. Like every single character you meet is ugly and dumb as shit and hasn't made a good decision their entire lives. Because if you watch the beginning sales pitch of them saying, like, come join our corporation amongst the stars, 100% employment, 100% increased productivity, and then you get there and the first guy you meet is like, hey, I was getting shot at by some guys outside, and I tried to shoot back at him, but my gun misfired and went through my side. It's a Spacer's Choice gun now with 30% less rates of failure. It's not the best choice. It's Spacer's Choice.
Spacer's Choice.
Like, that's the first guy you meet, and you're like, oh, bro, you got shot through the side? I can help you. I'm a medic. And then he's like, oh, no. People that work outside of Spacer's Choice aren't allowed to work on Spacer's Choice property. And then you're like, property? You're a person. And he's like, I'm considered an asset of Spacer's Choice. And then you discover that through the whole game, that's everything and everyone is that dumb.
It was,
and then you're like, oh my god, this whole game isn't about these individual dumb characters. Like, this whole game is a corporation set 2 colony ships out into space to go colonize and make a corporate colony, and they decided that it would be too costly to bring all the people in, so they just left hundreds of thousands of people just floating in space, frozen for 70 years, and you can't unfreeze them. They just turn into liquid. The one guy who's willing to work on it is out of his fucking mind. And he's like, yeah, I just put a bunch of chemicals together. It might give you some powers. He's basically Rick.
yeah.
He's Rick from an alternate universe and is dumb as fuck.
Well,
Like, he's smart.
Itchy was there when I was first playing it, and we had my favorite fucking dialogue in that game. Well, yeah, it was the moon guy at the store. When you're like, we just kept drilling him and asking him to repeat the shit, and like, because he kept going on about it, and he was so pissed behind that mask. And then like we're like, wait, could you repeat that again? It's company policy or whatever. And he's like, Spacer's Choice, like he's flipping the fuck out. And then he's gone the next day, and someone replaces him, and thinking to me that he went and killed his fucking self, like, because he was so frustrated. Like, it's just, it was gold.
It was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, man, that game is still to me a national treasure. And like people there, I've seen people, like, when they review it, like professional, like, reviewers, journalists, being like, some of these characters aren't memorable, and I'm like, you should have beat the game.
What was the
It ain't about like you can remember Steve. It's that you can remember everyone.
Yeah. What was the chick's name though?
And the corporate boards were dumb.
What was the repair chick's name? The mechanic.
Oh, her name was great. Her name was great because, and I don't know, did you guys pick up on this? Her name was Parvati.
Yeah, Parvati.
But if you just skip a couple of letters around in it, her name's Poverty.
Yeah. But Parvati, one of the storylines I fucking loved was getting Parvati to fall in love with the captain of the Wrecker, was it?
Yeah.
But that was fucking. I'm not even like a romantic type in stories or shows or whatever, but that shit was fucking adorable, and I loved pursuing that storyline. Cause Parvati's was my motherfucking sidekick in that game. I didn't fuck with anyone else, honestly. It was me and Parvati's the whole way.
I soloed.
I
took all the
it?
perks that gave you the benefit for solo. I played on
right.
Supernova. So I started playing on normal difficulty, and it was a little bit too easy for me. So I started on hard, and it was a little bit too easy for me. And then I go to Supernova, and they're like, "Oh yeah, and if your party members die, they stay dead." And I was like, "Whoa, like bro, I just spent the last 6 hours getting to know Parvati. I'm not letting her die."
See,
so I would get companions and give them a place on my ship to stay, but they'd never come out with me because I was running that solo extra. Like, I want to play it again in normal just for the story.
That's actually I have a crazy thing with this game, kind of, but so this was the first game that I actually played that I've never played before, and like this was like not starting streaming, but I'd stream for a little bit, like a year or something, and that was the first game that I exclusively only like first played and like actually reacted to like on stream. And I was, because I was doing that, I was like, bro, I'm 100%ing this game. And I like searched literally everything everywhere in that game. And I think it's still on. I have an old YouTube because one day I ate a bunch of fucking edibles and a shitload of dabs, and I woke up and I had a panic attack and I deleted all my YouTube videos. But I had another YouTube from when we got banned, Itchy, for riffing the fucking Grandpa Robot movie, was it?
Yeah, it was
Dementia Robot is what we called it.
It was like Robot and Me, I think.
Something like that. It was a actually kind of sad movie, and we were fucking ripping it apart. But we did it on
That's
like
my wife.
that is his wife. And she's like, "Hey, just stream it to YouTube. Who cares?" And I was like, "All right, here we go. You know, who does care?" And when they kicked me off, I made a second YouTube, but there's still. That was during that time where we were playing fucking whatever the fuck this name of this game is called. God damn it.
Oh, Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds. Because I was excited for it, because I was like, oh fuck. Same reasons as Necro.
Yeah, Outer Worlds 2, man.
Oh, word? I haven't beaten the first Outer Worlds DLC yet. I was playing it and I was like, eh.
Actually, no, that DLC it's short, and the first one's really fucking good. I haven't finished the second one. The first one's really fucking good.
I don't know if I was doing the first or the second one, but I was going. There was like some weird lady in a mansion, and she was just, I don't know, what the fuck is it called? She was doing that thing when rich people embezzle money or something, embezzling. That's what was happening. I don't know.
It's just called being rich.
Yeah. So fucking.
She was doing that rich people thing, where they just do everything they can to stay rich.
They just spend money to stay rich, right?
Richie, this is my special tequila. It's called Tres Comas. You know what that means? 3 commas? Yeah, no, it means a billion. Because I'm in the billionaires club, Rich. I swear to God, Russ Heinemann is Elon Musk.
Speaking of Elon Musk, I'm gonna roll into our next little topic thing. And this is something that everyone forgot about instantly that happened just at the beginning of this week. But it was something that made me really fucking sad, actually. And it was Dave Chappelle bringing up Elon onto the stage for Elon to get booed off stage.
I'm so glad I was shit talking Dave Chappelle before when no one else was. When he should have
defending him.
Everyone would have just like remembered him for everything he did a long, long time ago, and then he retired, and the stuff he made, you can look back and be nostalgic. But then he came back, and I'm like, oh god, this is awful. My mom was talking about it, how he had the Netflix special and shit. I'm like, this is fucking terrible.
I liked his stuff.
It was terrible.
Yeah,
you know what I felt about it though, where I can't disagree with you. I didn't think it was terrible. I did laugh at a couple of spots, but my laughs weren't old good Chappelle laughs. They were like when you smile and air comes through your nose. It was that kind of laugh. I call that a nose laugh.
It was
Like,
just,
the thing that I don't like about the new stuff though is
up.
it's not jokes anymore so much as it is like, have you ever as a cat, whatever age you are, talk to somebody that's half your age or even less as like with a disappointment tone to it, like
I
where you're
guess.
like, see, that's why you don't put a fork in an outlet, son. Like, it will hurt you, and if you put a fork in an outlet, it can kill you. And I'm not mad at you, but it's just that I told you 1,000 times not to put a fork in the outlet, and you just did it. And now you know why I told you not to. And so you think that when I tell you not to do something, that I'm joking? Like, that disappointment, Tony, that's Dave Chappelle's entire everything now. Is, you see, America, I'm disappointed in you. And this is my jokes now. And I'm like, you know who did that better than you? Richard Pryor. And he didn't have to act all sad and disappointed. He just made fun of it.
Well, Richard Pryor gave him the torch or whatever, But that's actually what made me sad, though, right?
He started saying that whoever was booing was probably in the cheap seats.
Yeah, he's insulting his audience. But that's what made me sad, is that whole interaction. Because, like, I was I was shocked. I was like, why would you bring up fucking Elon Musk? Like, what the fuck is your problem?
He didn't say anything funny. He was just kind of there.
He was just there. But the thing that made me sad is
Superman bringing up Lex Luthor.
But it makes me realize that, like again, how shallow, like, Chappelle and shit is. Because I grew up with the fond memories of Dave Chappelle. But it's also, like...
if he had just gone away, people would have just remembered him as this nostalgic...
He should have just made more sketch comedy, in my opinion. But
no, he should have just stopped.
Well, the reason that, like, I'm gonna even say, like, I respected him or whatever is because of the fucking, like, he left Comedy Central and shit just because whatever, he didn't agree with some bullshit. So I'm like, all right, it's not all about the money. But then it's like, oh wait, it is all about the money. Because, like,
Elon Musk, you broke people booing him, fuck you.
Right? Like, but it's like, that's what I'm like, how out of touch. Like, how much money do you make? Like, at what point does that dollar bill bring you, like, out of touch from where you came from? Because, like, the other thing that I'm scared of, too, is what is he gonna...
That's a great question.
I'm just, like, I'm thinking he does things, like, people were saying he does shit just to get a reaction because he's not funny anymore. But, I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, like, bro, like, on the Chappelle show, like, he had Kanye West on the Chappelle show multiple times. Like, is he about to bring Kanye up next or some shit? Like, I just don't get what's going on. But it made me so sad, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, dude, like, I did used to love Dave Chappelle, and now I'm just realizing he's, like, just a disattached old man who has no context anymore.
Yeah. It's just sad.
Rich old man, sorry, who wants to be friends with other rich people, like Elon Musk.
Hey, I would like to make some money, so here is your favorite Elon Musk.
He said, this motherfucker bought me a jetpack. Could you imagine, like...
If he was like that about it, that would be funny. Like, if he was like, here's Elon Musk, he's my fucking sugar daddy, and I wasn't gonna bring him up here, but then he bought me a fucking jet.
Right, if you, like, made him the joke, if you made him the butt or whatever, it would have been hilarious, right?
But no, it was just him.
I'm gonna crop dust you real quick. Here's your once again friendly reminder that fucking Todd Howard's been pretending to be Elon Musk's buddy for so fucking long. Look, guys, I wear a leather jacket and hang out with Elon Musk. I'm like, you know what? Fucking Bethesda, I'm done with it.
He wouldn't do that today. He would at least have the professional fucking foresight to see that Elon Musk is not someone you want to be associated with.
Honestly, like,
all the dumb shit he's doing and saying.
While we're saying this shit about Elon Musk, though, like, I was one of those idiots, all right, back in the day. This is, but I didn't know shit about Elon Musk or really give a fuck. Like, I've heard of, like, Tesla or whatever, but when Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan,
he did was hostily take over.
Yeah, he took
Tesla.
it over. Well, you know what I'm saying? That was like,
shit.
that's how you're gonna hear about him as a nobody way back, as like Tesla, Elon Musk or whatever. He's making electric cars. But
give him 5 years, he'll have people fucking believing he invented space.
Right. Well, but that's so I seen him on Joe Rogan was the first time I seen him, And I was just like he was sitting there talking, smoking the joint, and I was like, this dude seems weird as fuck. Like, what is he actually like famous for, or whatever? So I like started to look him up and stuff. But you could like, and we and Itchy talked about this a lot, like in the beginning too. You could kind of tell he just was a fucking idiot, and we were talking about like the patents or whatever, because it's not like these weren't things that you could hide too well. But then like other dumb shit started coming out that he was made all his like he lied about, you know, not being from fucking. What, his family fucking mined emeralds or some bullshit?
Apartheid money. His dad, literally.
Yeah, how he's basically just an idiot that inherited apartheid.
Yeah, but like
money.
really early on, like right after that.
Apartheid is
What?
It's when white people went into South America and
colonized it.
Sorry,
most of
South
the Dutch
Africa.
and Germans.
White people went to South Africa, and they made all the black people that actually lived there like second-class citizens. And, yeah. So
yeah, it was when you say white people. Can you specify Dutch, Germans, British, and French?
what is the fucking difference? They all fuck right next to each other. They're all white. They're on the same landmass.
Just saying, they're not my neighbors. These ain't my people.
There was not just South Africa, but all of Africa. The more you read into the shit that happened down there, like there was like I can't even remember. It was like in the Congo.
About the country of South Africa.
Yeah, I'm talking about the whole continent of Africa itself.
I was just being a nationalist for a
yeah.
second. That's all.
Apartheid is very specific to the country South Africa because it was kind of the richest area in Africa. Well, and I guess Egypt also exists.
I guess there's also Egypt.
It
was called Rhodesia, I believe.
It was a very localized like policy of apartheid, and we learned about it in school. I don't remember much now, but like his dad just had an emerald mine, and like he was online telling people like, oh, my family was very poor when I was growing up, and we would take turns sleeping on the only bed with our whole family in one room. And then his dad came out and was like, I don't know why he's saying that. He had purebred racing horses at age 14 and we were rich.
It's funny because I was saying shit to Bob the other day about being when we had to live at Wally's in Dundee, and he had this one room in the front that Mom and Jesse had the bed, and we had to sleep on the fucking floor against the wall. And I was like, I was like, dude, I didn't even like think about that forever. But for like a whole summer, just a bunch of kids sleeping on the fucking floor. We weren't taking no turns on a bed. What?
No, his family would take turns sleeping on the bed.
But I don't know. It's just weird. Like I don't. As soon as I saw him, that's like as soon as I heard of fucking Kanye too. Back in the, I'm not trying to say I'm an OG just hater. But, like, I remember listening to Kanye and being like, why do people fuck this. Like, this is not good. And, like...
No one man should have all that power.
No one man. But, like, all the songs...
Dude, I used to love that song just for the beat. But then, like, I started really paying attention to the way Kanye writes a song.
I didn't even know you guys were talking about a Kanye song.
Yeah, there's a part in that song, right? And I used to really unironically love that song. But there's a part in that song, and I went back and listened to it recently to discover what an idiot I was. So, like, he slows it down because, you know, every rap song from, like, the 90s, and that's Kanye, basically, even though he's not 90s, did that thing, you know, like, Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, Ali Baba, and they bring it up louder and louder. When Kanye does that in that song, they're just clapping, and he starts going, Poland, Powers, Austin, Powers, and I'm like, really?
What the fuck?
I can't believe I liked this. This song is so fucking dumb.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. People like will like say songs that he's like that are unforgettable, and these songs are like a decade old by now. But I just want to say like no one remembers Gold Digger as like a Kanye West song. Like you remember it for the fucking hook that was a sample, you know, or like the beginning.
For me,
it
was the beat.
Well,
I love Kanye beats. That's it. Like, but see, Kanye was writing beats for like Jay-Z and other rappers. That's how he got his shot. It was because everybody loves a Kanye beat, but Kanye can't rap. We thought he could because we all love a Kanye beat, but go back, take the beat away, and just listen to Kanye's lyrics. Kanye writes songs like a 13-year-old.
Well, I mean, even at a time when I was listening to a lot of music for the beats, because like I said, I've told you about it before, where we were going back and forth from the city to the suburbs in a fucking Blazer, you know, a Chevy Blazer, brah. But we had fucking 218s and 212s, and we'd be bumping fucking like Memphis shit in a sense, like fucking 3-6, Lil Wayne, fucking. I don't think Lil Wayne's actually fucking. No, he is, I think. But I fucking forget. But we'd be like, or even like you would know, like old ass Cypress Hill or just Dre and like shit that would bump hard as fuck, like rattle your whole car. But like we were never playing much Kanye, and like the people that I saw that were playing Kanye were like the rich, well-off kids that we were going to sell shit to, who might have also had like a little. They'd like jump in and pump in like a Kanye beat. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Where'd that DJ drama at, son?
The people that I rode around with insane systems in their cars usually played Attila.
What the fuck's Attila?
Party with the devil. Yeah, dude.
I'll tell you,
it felt insane when just the bass drums with the system that they had, like, felt insane.
I don't care how good of a system you have, never bump Prince. Prince will break your speakers. That's all I'm saying.
I think most of the problem with because your radio should really be able to prevent that. I think the problem that, for a lot of people is they just put the gain way too fucking high on their amplifier.
I guess I'm just saying, Prince will fuck you up. Prince has some good beats and shit, but it's also his high ass voice. I'm just saying, Prince fucked up a lot of speaker systems for me, but but we'll roll in.
This was like a little. So the main person I'm thinking about, this was a little fucking Suzuki stick shift car that she barely knew how to drive, and they just put some ridiculous audio system in. It was like you just felt it and nothing else in your chest.
Yeah, that was the fun shit. Like, see, I was doing that as a teenager, but we were always smoking blunts and shit, so we'd be high as fuck, scared of the police because we're smoking a bunch of weed, and we have a bunch of weed. But then, like, with Lil Wayne punching you in the fucking chest with beats, and you're like, again, when I say like, well, like, I'm just gonna say we were little kid high, because like that's the kind of high where you're like, bro, I think my heart's beating too fast and the beat is hitting it weird. I gotta like roll this window down and breathe some fresh air. But we'll take this. Fuck it. We'll roll on to Itchy. You got a second topic, or I forget if we're already on the thirds.
No, is AI art theft?
So we were talking about this earlier, and I've been thinking about it a lot, right? Because it's everywhere. And some major art site or something just protested AI art. I don't know if you guys saw.
China banned.
I feel like that's
all
like that
AR
old
that's
guy
not
from that
watermark.
Greek island of Lesbos who like sued because he's a lesbian and no one else is. Like, I'm serious. It was a cranky old man. It was like the old Greek male version of Karen was angry that that gay women can call themselves lesbians, but he's been a lesbian his whole life. And he took gay women to court. Of course, the lawsuit didn't get like a victory or a loss. It got dismissed. But this man was serious. He was like, I was born on the island of Lesbos. I'm a lesbian. And I'm angry that people out there can call themselves that. Like that, I'm like, bro. Yeah, yeah. I think AI art.
Specifically, if you
listen,
profit off of, if you
if
make money off of AI, is that theft?
I'm currently trying to do that right now, but I don't think it is theft because it's like,
How's that been going on?
I've got nothing, and they look awesome. So I don't think it's theft,
Are
right?
you selling it as your own work, or are you selling it as AI art that generated off of terms and effort and work that you put into it?
Well, it's like also, but not only that, but it's like, imagine you do paintings with Bob Ross and then sell that. Are you stealing art? like you just took someone's whole fucking style and instructed you how to do it. Is that then, are you then stealing that art? If you are influenced by an artist and then do that, are you stealing art?
Could also just be
no, there's
asking-
no way you'd be able to do that because then like everything is stealing.
Yeah, it'd be like if inspiration is stealing, or I'm sorry, if you're gonna say inspiration is not stealing, well then someone might say, what is the difference between taking inspiration from something and this AI taking inspiration from people's art? Because there's people, mostly the people that are upset that are saying that it is theft, is because it's trained off of other people's art that they did.
But you're doing the same thing with YouTube and shit. Like you're like people nowadays.
People would say that
Ooh, that's a
an
good
AI
point.
is not a person; it's a machine. So it's not taking inspiration; it's copy.
Well, so yeah, how do we then define consciousness and what truly is inspiration? And is it actually something that's just unique to being human? And like the Zen Buddhist
the
answer for
AI
that is
performing
doesn't
the
fucking
art
matter.
Pass a Turing test.
But they don't do that. They're not really AI. They're learning algorithms. They're not
But
it's
really an AI.
But is it trying to inspire me when it makes AI? You know, like, are we stealing from the AI? If we're stealing from the AI, then can the AI pass the Turing test? Can it feel?
But that's like I want to say that like AI, like just this things making references to things on the internet. That's what we're doing every day ourselves, and it's how we grow as people, right? Like you start out as a dumb fucking kid, right? And like with how our society works right now with like media and stuff, is we like find heroes or like just these characters in stories, and we say to ourselves, I'm gonna be like that, or I'm gonna be like fucking this or whatever, and we make our decisions through life by consuming other people's decisions. And not only like what I'm trying to say is some of these are simulated like personalities and stories, and we're still taking inspiration from that. So like, are we stealing, this person's, am I stealing Superman's artistic design if I want to draw comics like them, or if I want to be like him as a person?
You can't do it with the kind of precision that a computer does.
So that's the thing too, and I'm not trying to be a dick when I say this, because like I'm stuck in a fucking weird void right now myself, where like you could be getting, I don't, it sounds like a dumb bitch thing to say, but like there's times where I feel like I'm getting my fucking culture taken away from me by large industry and stuff, and the change of laws and shit.
Oh yeah.
But so like I understand how it feels for some of this shit, but I also like you've brought up before, Richie, is like,
But that's just capitalism.
that is just
not...
capitalism, and that's what a lot of people will just say about shit. But it's still good to have that that competition, right? Like even if I can make it through making it, I'll still feel so much like better and shit. Like it'll be a real accomplishment. What?
It's anti-competitive. Huge companies being able to like just take over industries that are emerging is anti-competitive.
Well, I guess that's very true. But I mean,
yeah, like one guy taking over like huge swaths of all the wealth available to all of humans.
So that's the
Buy a bird website.
Is that really where the AI comes into?
Exactly. Yeah, like dude, right after he said 6 billion is enough to solve world hunger, but 54 billion is what I'm gonna spend because a kid keeps tracking my private jet with publicly available information.
But is that when we start getting mad though? Is when a company owns the AI and we can no longer, like you did, just download and use this ourselves? Like, is that when it should become the problem? Huh?
It depends if it's open source.
I guess, because there's probably already other companies who have been making their own AIs already and shit, right?
You know what I think? Not company, but the government and government. I think they are very quietly, secretly right now, investing untold amounts of money into making a working quantum computer. Because we are in the
quantum age.
The digital age of like lots of war has turned into just hacking attacks.
Yeah,
so
it's proxy wars now.
Yeah, The thing is, the first person in the world to get a working, reasonable quantum computer can break all encryption algorithms that exist today so very quickly.
All right.
Because there's one, I think it's called Shor's algorithm. So if I don't understand it, but if a quantum computer existed, it would just so happen to be very good at doing a calculation called Shor's algorithm that can find what you started with what you ended up with. It can guess stuff really fast.
All right.
So what it would basically be able to do is if you had and I bet every major government dumping resources into this, you would basically just be able to break any encryption on anything very quickly.
And
because quantum computers are really good at that one specific thing. They're like worse in other ways, but like they could do this thing that's just undoable on current like silicon.
What we think we can do. It'd be crazy. And you say the only beef with AI is that the art used to train most of it. But it's again like what is the art used that people train off of as well? Like
yeah, exactly.
What's the difference? Like
every single
what's the
person
difference
in the world,
between the AI looking at art and us going to a museum?
Every single person in the world could look at every single piece of art ever made and make a bunch of art, and they would not have learned as fully
that is valid
of nearly as many things as an AI we currently have does. Like, you want to generate an image right now, there's this one guy who, like, it was the one that I told you on where I was like, hey, if you type in this guy's name, it makes a really good ones. Afterwards. Like, effectively, you can just go and make something in that guy's exact style, and you've outcompeted him because he had to spend lots of time creating something like that. And that's why people say it's theft.
I mean, but that's like, what if you were a speed painter instead of a speedrunner? Like, what if people started caring about video games and calling them art and saying that speedrunners were stealing the content from the game? Or something
it's not like that because we still paid for the game. It's like,
but it's like, what if it was art and you were supposed to enjoy it, you know? And if you speedrunning it, it's just considered, you know, you're taking from it in some way. You're taking
it's not art you're supposed to enjoy. It's art you're supposed to.
But I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, if it depends on going faster, right? Like, why does it matter how fast you make it? Who gives a fuck if you took a month or whatever?
Because of actual competition. If you can pump out tons of AI art and sell it, you're way more likely to have your thing paid for and to make money than somebody who's actually doing art.
Jer says for sure, but it doesn't copy stroke for stroke. It literally copies exact strokes and shapes. We could all look at pictures, right, and we could draw it, and it would all look different. I want it, so I'm gonna take Itchy's thing, and I'm gonna skip over Necro because we'll let Necro roll over to something else. Because my third thing was, is AI generated art? Is it art? And I think yes, and I think. Honestly, Jer, we've sat here using the AI thing. I can't remember if you were here when I was generating AI pictures, but we could do it right now. And the thing is they are always different and unique. And I feel AI art.
But they have an exact number. Every image that you can generate has an exact set of different values that you could save, put in the same prompt, and those same values, those randomness values that get just randomly generated. But you can save them, and you can reproduce the exact same image with the exact same prompt, as long as you save these couple values it tells you.
Yeah, I guess when you're trying to retouch them with the other things. But
so people have actually made a business where they sell prompts, but they're not selling the AI art, but they're selling prompts, and then they'll like give you values that you can put in that will make a really good generation.
But like, so that's like, all right, so you've stolen art or whatever, right? Like, you've just taken it. What about when you get it as a tattoo? Like, let's say you got an AI robot that does just tattoos, like just So you don't have a person do it or whatever, so it's no longer art because there has to be a human attached to it for it to be art for some reason. But it's like, are you then, like, with an exact image, like, have you then stole someone's portrait if you're getting it on your body? Like, should they be able to sue you? Should you be like, that's stealing art right there when you have a tiger tattoo, you know?
Well, you didn't pay royalties to the Disney, so.
But what if they slightly altered it and gave Tigger a huge dumpy?
And that is covered because that is parody.
But so this is the thing. PC does learn different, right? And it has a way to train. But my thing is like so I think AI art is art, but I don't think that makes the person putting in the generated fucking things an artist. I wouldn't say that at all. But the thing is like, and I've said this to Itchy already, because we were talking about this when we were generating it all, like when we were having a ball, fucking just making these pictures. But like AI art is unique and like crazy, and it really like it gets me thinking in a really weird way, like really creatively, for like how this AI is trying to make sense of these images we're asking it to put out for us, and how close these images are right now, and how good better they're getting each day or whatever the fuck. But I really feel like I feel like if you're an artist and you're pissed about this right now, like everyone who's really pissed is like, oh, like I spent 10 years trying to be an artist and now there's AI that does this or whatever. But it's like, it's art, right? Like, shouldn't you be doing it not to, like, getting a monetary gain and living off of your art is fucking awesome, right? You'd consider
it's an insane thing to expect.
Yeah, but like, yeah, so why would you get so upset now after all this too? Like, why would that stop you from still doing what you enjoy? Because it's like we've said already earlier, you're still a unique person. What you do is your style and shit, and there's always going to be people who are gatekeepers or purists and shit like that are going to love different people's styles of art. So it's like,
imagine, Elm, that you were trying right now to play the bass professionally to pay all of your bills.
Exactly, and it's
you
like,
got angry when it didn't work
yeah,
out,
when it didn't happen after
blame AI.
And honestly, I do want to say I did play bass for like 10 years before I gave it up. Like, and
were you trying to professionally make a living out of it the whole way?
I was hoping to fucking finally just get a band and do some shit, but I did do it to try to make money, and it was terrible. I did cover songs and played at bars and stuff, you know, like with a band of old people.
Did you make a living?
Not at all. I made $20 a gig if I was lucky. If I was lucky, and that's what you had to play cover songs. You had to.
Most of the time, you get paid 2 beers.
Yeah.
So
imagine doing that and being genuinely upset and confused when that doesn't work out.
But Jer, with when we say like progress and stuff, you say it's like a human artist that learns from creating. AI literally takes a picture that was given and creates random pieces from those pieces. What happens when algorithms change though, and it's not like that, and AIs can literally think up their own art or whatever? Like, what is? I'm not saying like I don't even know if that's fucking possible.
Understand human consciousness to actually create anything like that.
I don't know, man.
Right now we basically have algorithms that can do one thing, and there is no consciousness, there is no personality, there is no.
It's ones and zeros. I get that.
100% artificial.
But still, when you say there's no consciousness, what is really the difference between these ones and zeros and consciousness? Like, we can't define it, right?
That's what I'm saying.
And there's
you
not
don't
much.
know what consciousness is yet. That's why I'm saying to create an AI that is on that level, you would have to first understand that in people.
Well, let's get on it. Because I need a holodeck, alright? I'm sick of these fucking VR headsets. I just want a room of a video game like Star Trek.
VR pretty good, though.
Yeah, just, when can I be real life Quark?
But yeah, I guess the only other thing I could say about it is something we've already said too, is like, I feel like when a lot of people complain about something, that's when you know something's about to get really big. Like,
yeah,
it happened, like, really old school style, it happened with hip hop. Like, how many times could you sit here and think of even just 10 years back, watching like a comedy show on TV, and people be like, oh, I choose the category hip hop, and they're like, no, I said art, and everyone's like, ah, like look at hip hop right now, look at hip hop for the past 20 to 30 years, and how much money people make
hip
off
hop
of it.
is not art is just racist, though. I
I
don't
know it
think
really
this
is,
something
but
we should even compare.
well, I could
That's
use
straight racist.
I guess so, yeah, but I don't know. I guess I could use dubstep and trap too. Like people shit on dubstep a lot, and I'll say like to the EDM shit.
Oh man, people were shitting on trap.
Really hard, and
People
then
were shitting on
I remember
trap.
the first time I ever heard it, and like it was fucking a half NFL halftime commercial. I was like, bro, there's trap in this commercial. And I was like, that's when I knew. I was like, this shit's about to fucking take off. And you know, I'm just saying, it's like I feel like a lot of people shit on the like a lot of the new things, and I'm not saying wrongly so. Like you should have your culture, but you shouldn't put fucking. Again, you can't put crazy expectations on what you love. Like when I say I feel like my culture is being ripped away from me, like I'm kind of like I'm on a teeter-totter, right? I'm ready to either like fucking try to take off and be the best that I can be, or like see a corporate takeover and just go turn into a fucking grunt again for the rest of my life and try to be happy with that, you know? But I'm not saying that that's like cool or like we should just all give up or whatever, but it's just a fucking reality that I might have to face. It's the same reality if you had heart problems and shit and you're like, well, I might die in 20 years. Like, yeah, it really might. But like, I don't know. Yeehaw. That's like what I say, just like I mean that in an accepting way too. How can I make a living that I can like try to be comfortable with? And I think that's a huge thing that a lot of us struggle with, and especially like I feel like these new generations struggle with it a lot because like we saw our parents kind of like some of us saw our parents really fucking struggle, and a lot of people like also saw people really fucking make it though, like just go live a life they wanted kind of before shit all really went to shit or whatever. And I feel like that crushed a lot of people's hopes and dreams because like a lot of like from my generation on or even a bit, you know, before whatever, I feel like a lot of people like were slammed into that fucking meat grinder of society where it's like, all right, like throw all your hopes and dreams out, sit in this fucking whatever the fuck you're gonna do, like an assembly line or some shit, fucking packed food into a box.
The plastic lids off of the assembly line. You gotta keep up with the machine, or else we'll
put
fire
the lids off. Yeah, you have to keep up.
Put them up in a box, all right, and you make a new box and you tape it. You gotta do that before the machine, you know.
Exactly, Drew. But no, that's
stand the whole day.
For real, Stan. You cannot sit. Why? That's just how things have evolved. Don't sit.
We didn't build it in a way that thought people would be sitting.
That's not work style. You have to stand when you're working.
Stand on the concrete.
It won't hurt your back. Don't worry.
You'll be fine.
But I will say though, like with my experience from all jobs like that, like I really do have a great understanding of if I wanted to like build a business that did mass processing and proper cleanings and shit like that. I have this great idea of how these things are already supposed to work in my head, and that's cool. But like when you start saying shit like that, it's like, imagine me telling you I'm going to open up a fucking giant freezing facility like Hollypack, right? And I'm gonna open up one building that processes these foods, and it's a whole cold room, and then there's cold storage, and dude, a refrigeration system like that is gonna cost you maybe $20,000-$50,000, right off the bat for a little fucking measly warehouse building kind of thing. Like, when I say measly, because I mean like a small warehouse by our standards. I don't even know what to say. That is 100 feet. 20 to 50,000.
What are you, fucking drunk? Jesus.
What?
You could get concrete poured for maybe.
I'm saying that's just for maybe the fucking refrigerating system that would go through your facility and storage. Yeah, I wish. No, the whole thing. If that was the whole thing, I'd be going to business right now. No. Yeah, I'm talking about buying an old shitty warehouse already or something and trying to just put in new refrigerating shits. You know what I mean, though? That's what I mean, though, is every single step is going to be like that. And then you're sitting there like, well, do I have hundreds of thousands of dollars right now? Like, no, I don't have shit.
You gotta get a business loan.
But, I don't know, I don't think there's, like, everything has always been getting really lucky when you really want to do your dreams and shit, right? Like, you gotta get really lucky with some of that shit.
I mean, yeah, but, like, you have to be trying for a long time, and then you...
And that's true, but that's, like, why, so, like, why should that affect some people sometimes when you're getting mad? Like, I know you're like, oh, this is undermining my work or whatever, but it's like, didn't you enjoy it? Like, isn't that why you did it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and you does somehow, because this like landscape of it changes, takes away from what you were doing, or like how you're still like, because that's what I ended up having fun with in bass was like practicing and realizing my progression in a sense, you know, like, wow, I couldn't have done this a year ago or whatever, and now I can fucking do this or blah blah blah, and it's really fun to do if I'm jamming. And I never thought of it like, fuck, man, the Nexus 2 came out for Fruity Loops, and now fucking people can just make my own, that whole thing I just did really easy. They can automate it. I never
Come
was
on,
like...
you're not rich yet. You gotta get rich first.
I have to be Metallica.
You just gotta wait for your rich dad to die, and then you can do whatever you want.
That
you just
too,
gotta,
well, that's
so go
birth
to
lottery.
the location where a lot of music producers live. So just be in the right location, first of all.
Sure deal. If I hit my rock bottom, I'm coming to fucking farm those 5 acres for you. Now, if I hit the rock bottom, I might move out somewhere, because Necro and Itchy have told me about the, there's like farming programs where you can just go and actually farm other bullshit and get subsidized from the government, so.
Become a sharecropper, see?
A sharecropper.
In like fucking Alaska, maybe.
No,
They're
there's...
not doing that most places. I mean, maybe you could find a program to move to like Montana.
I was gonna say in the Midwest, there's shit. Necro was showing me the shit. I was looking it up, and I was like, wow, he's not fucking lying.
Nice.
But
they'll just pay you to live in Alaska,
no, for real.
no matter what you do.
Yeah, honestly, Jer, I'm hoping to get some acreage myself and blah 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 and go into business. But
bring your meth up to Alaska.
Cooking meth that's another thing. People like, you know, that's the hard part of being in the drug game. There was a point where people went from meth was made like, it wasn't made in a Breaking Bad kind of way. Breaking Bad is over the fucking top. Because, like, Wally used to make meth in his kitchen. So, like, that shows you how hard it is to make meth.
No, they show that in Breaking Bad. They show how people just make it in their kitchen.
They do. I'm just saying, when they have the labs,
it's
it's over the fucking top. It's just, it's too much. Yeah,
he's
but
a chemist. He's a real chemist trying to get real pure lab standards out.
There's other fucking chemists who've done it that it's just, I'm just saying, you don't fucking get a secret cookout underneath the McDonald's or whatever the fuck. Anyways. But there was a point from where you would actually have to know what you were doing to make meth to there's a shake and bake method now, they call it, or whatever. It's not even now, it's old now. Yep. But you can
get
just
the drain cleaner.
I remember that at the end of the commercial, the sweet little girl goes, "It's shake and bake," and I helped.
That's exactly it. Now the shake and bake where you can make meth in a fucking Mountain Dew bottle is all I'm saying. And you know, think of how much that fucking upset the fucking meth game, okay? There's people who are still upset out there.
I'm pissed. People making meth easier than ever.
Could you imagine if you're really just some idiot and like you really like you're selling meth and it's paying your fucking bills, then out of fucking nowhere meth just becomes one of the easiest things to manufacture and no one is paying like anything for your meth anymore? Like even addicts, like they're out there making their own at that rate and you're like, what the fuck, bro? I'm just saying, it's like there's been a lot of industries that get hit that people don't talk about, all right? Meth being one of them. But that was all my topics.
I think that was mine too. It was one of my topics was gonna be, but we didn't. It was part of the AI thing. Was the quantum computer thing. I think all the governments are secretly working their dicks off quantum computer. That
I would not be surprised. That sounds like, you know, why not?
Like,
why would you not?
If you told someone in the military, oh, and by the way, this could break all encryption and all internet security. What?
What? Yeah, I mean, it's like thinking about like pretending it's like Roswell times and when they were trying to develop aircraft.
Started off as a military thing, right?
Oh,
yeah,
wait.
Tor was military encryption, and they just flipped it over to public.
Nice. I have
like
one
people
other
that
thing.
it's funny that people are like, we're protected by Tor, and I'm like, nah, Tor was military encryption. If you think there's not a backdoor into Tor for the government, you're an idiot. Like it was a DARPA project. The fucking DARPA fucking Tor was a government project. I can't remember. Like, yeah, I don't remember what branch of defense research, but yeah, Tor started off as a military thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt it at all, right? Because like quantum computing, it's like it's a feasible thing to try to attain if you're going to dump resources into it, right? Like, and it's right here. And like you're saying, if you could just get past anything with it, why would you not? Like, who gives a fuck about space when you need to fucking have control over everything first?
Or
right?
is open source.
Yeah, but like, look where it started.
But it's open source. So if there was a backdoor, some security researcher in the world, no, people would
Is
lose faith.
100% of Tor open source?
I'm not sure. I just saw something online that Tor is open source.
It was the U.S. Naval Research Lab.
So it's GNU General Public License, which is open source. So it's just one of those.
Wait, GNU which version? Because everything after 3 has been a bit of a nightmare. Even Linus Torvalds doesn't go with GNU anymore.
It was like 2008 at the time.
You know, the only thing about getting into like yeah, I do want quantum computing for Dwarf Fortress and Daggerfall, right? Let's put quantum computing in Daggerfall. Let's combine Dwarf Fortress and Daggerfall and Space Station 13.
Oh my god. The world isn't ready for that.
And then make it VR.
Damn, there was something else that I was gonna start talking about when I was talking about the
quantums.
How the U.S. how all the governments are like definitely pouring money into that. I can't remember. Something about the military spending money.
You know how they spend money.
What, the military? Nuh-uh.
I forgot what I was gonna be. Damn it.
Maybe someday, Drew. I don't know anything about computers is my problem.
All the internet uses, there's a lot of stuff on there.
All I do is look up Reddit things when I have problems.
I don't know if you're, Jared, I don't know if you're aware of this, but like, you know how like people move out to the desert and some of them catch water and some of them don't have the money and effort and preparation or knowledge to catch water. So they just have people bring it in the back of a pickup truck. Yeah. That's how Elm gets his internet. Itchy brings it to him once a month in the back of his pickup truck.
For real, once a month I got Itchy coming out. Itchy doesn't even fully understand how my
internet for the month.
Itchy doesn't even understand how my fucking setup works fully, and he built it.
It's awful.
Yeah,
it's so dumb.
I'm gonna get a third computer and hook it up just for the hell of it.
Are you the Scotty, or would you call yourself the Scotty of his operation, the Bones of his operation, or perhaps the who was the Irish one played by Colm Meaney on Deep Space Nine? I can't think of his name now.
The Irish one on Deep Space? You mean Chief O'Brien?
Yeah. Are you Scotty, Bones, or Chief O'Brien?
He doesn't know any of that. Itchy's not a real trekker. He trekked the campaign with us.
Watched some of it with you, and then you always leave.
Oh yeah.
Before the movie's over.
Oh yeah, I had to watch the Wrath of Khan, you know.
Watched about half of it.
Half of it. Sorry, all right. I got tired. I was sleepy. It was the Wrath of Khan.
I was on the reefer.
I watch it a lot. That was some of those movies like over the top and shit. I have just ready to go sometimes, and they used to be bedtime movies. So back when I slept with a screen on, but I was gonna say fucking I was gonna say with the quantum computing shit, just like when we talk about putting resources into military spending, it's like it's really sad, but there's crazy shit that the military has actually done that I've like, this was like coast to coast shit I remember hearing, or like I told Necro about it, the Mysterious Universe or whatever. Like they were interviewing this one fucking dude he was a sergeant for like Area 51 or whatever, and these dudes kept like fucking with him and like bothering him because it's Area 51, you know, and he's like, oh, you know, they're like, we know there's aliens, blah blah blah. So this guy was actually given like permission to do like whatever that shit is. It's like it's like the false flag shit or whatever. It's like the stuff you don't talk about. I don't fucking know. But it wasn't it was just to encourage. Well, what the fuck did he do? He told these dudes there was really aliens. Like, he got permission to do this so it would spread misinformation. But he was like, yeah, there really is aliens in Area 51, and I'm gonna show them to you guys. And they're like, oh, no way, blah blah blah. So this dude with his like military clearance went to like basically a nursing home and took out like a small bus full of people that were physically disabled, and he put them in weird like alien looking suits, like not like complete like ET alien costumes, but he put like suits on them or whatever, like long coats and shit. And he had them walking around in this one of their barracks, and he brought the guys up to like look through the window, and they thought they had fucking seen like a room full of fucking aliens when it was just a bunch of old disabled people just walking around with long coats on and shit. And it's just, the thing is, it's really sad, right? Because you're just abusing the mentally ill in a sense to just bring and walk around. It was just like, I've heard this one this was an interview with fucking, it was like a general or some shit. And the reason it was about this one is because the dude had written a book prior, because he was part of this fucking alien misinformation thing. I wish I could give you any sources so I didn't sound like a fucking straight conspiracy theorist right now. But he had written a book. He had written a book about another one that they had done really early on, and this was what was it? It was the Cold War shit. They were trying to make the Soviets think that we were communicating with aliens.
That we landed on the moon.
We landed there. Well, so what they did was they contacted this seriously like legitimate scientist or whatever, and they were like, hey, we think we have this alien signal and we want you to investigate it. And they started feeding this dude like these weird ass signals and tricked him into thinking he was communicating with aliens. And this dude came out in public and was like, bro, I'm communicating with aliens. Like, this shit is crazy. Like, they're actually out there. And everyone started calling him a conspiracy theorist and whatever, and like the government was denying it because it was a false flag bullshit. And anyways, the sad thing is the dude ended up killing himself because he thought he was fucking insane. And it's just like when your government like does shit like that drives people into shit like to fucking kill yourself. Like it's just crazy and sad. But I'm just saying it's crazy because like there is these disinformation campaigns that exist, right? It's like that fucking Trump shit, like fake news. Shut the fuck. But there's seriously.
Oh, that's the other thing I thought of. Yeah, not because of anything you said.
No, you're fine. What? not relating to this.
So, basically, all of every single type of modern processor and CPU that's used in phones or computers or anything, they're made by very few companies, but there is one single company in the whole world that makes, well, I guess there's technically another one owns a patent, but there's one company in the whole world that makes the machines that are capable of making CPUs. And it has been made illegal for them to sell any machines to China. But basically, the process is patented by some partner company, and there's that partner company with the patent for the process is in the United States, and the company that owns that makes the machines that make CPUs, I think it's like Dutch or it's in the Netherlands or something. But that's like basically why there's a global chip shortage. It's because China literally cannot make any CPUs. And like CPUs and chips and stuff take literally no precious resources to make. Like the raw materials that go into making a CPU is basically just sand.
But is it made by a person, and if not, is it stealing?
I just thought it was interesting that literally one company in the whole world makes machines that can make modern and nobody else. And China, like Chinese spies have been trying to infiltrate it like nonstop for a very long time.
Headcrab says you're a liar and that they need gold, and gold is expensive. But I don't.
Do they need gold?
I was gonna say I don't think.
Yeah, they do need gold, but it's trace amounts of gold.
But
Actually,
not
if
for
you
the
go look at
CPU
the
itself. Not for the chip
yeah, no,
itself.
for like maybe I think they do need gold for the headers.
I thought it was
CPU.
platinum or something that was really expensive in computers.
Gold is conductive material. Yes. So those are different conductive materials and different components, but not the CPU specific.
But yeah, even though it's just trace amounts, if you go look at the countries where like we call it like to make our citizens feel better, we call it electronics recycling. But what really happens is it goes on a boat and gets dropped off in some country in Africa.
Yeah.
In a big pit.
We've seen Deadliest Roads. We already know.
We've seen it.
And yeah, so there's like people there that are like, oh cool, some more gold. And then they just like melt all that shit down and just breathe in toxic fumes so they can like sell that little bit of gold for enough to eat for another day.
And it's disgusting. They'll eat toe or whatever. It's just flour and water.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Itch? I'm sorry.
Oh, I just thought it was insane that literally, if you want to make CPUs, you can't even just go buy the machine. You like have to be allowed to get a machine that makes CPUs. And obviously they're hundreds of millions of dollars, but like, you just
that's pretty shasty.
They were saying that like this one company that developed the process, they've been like doing tons of R&D for like 40 years or some shit, and like for somebody else to just come along and get up to something that's like comparable, you'd have to take that long.
And Headcrab, I think we mean the people in third world countries that like take circuit boards and shit and just throw them in a fire and then take the metal out and try to go sell it.
Oh my god, my boss is talking about it. So we've got a bunch of old electronics that are worthless, and he's like, he got a forge, and he's like, oh, I want to do the extractions myself. And I was like, no matter how safe you think you are being, you are going to fucking kill yourself if you do this. Bring it to someone who does this. I said, and this is probably not a great way to look at it, but like, whenever you have some kind of company, the person who comes to pick up used tires, the person who comes to pick up scrap metal, it's they talk very weird every time. You can hardly understand what they're saying. They show up like they just came off of a fucking
people.
You don't even ask them to show up. They just show up and come and get it. And like, this is the kind of person that you need to find, where they do this one thing and they go around and do it for like electronics recycling. Like, do not do this yourself.
See, I fucking I always get pissy about dumb shit. Like I'm sure we've all seen this, right? 1950s home improvement like ad videos, kind of like industrial shit you could get added to your house in the 1950s. And in the 1950s, for whatever reason, serial killers or whatever, it was really awesome to get an incinerator built into your house for your garbage, and I kind of get really jealous of that. Like, I wish I had an incinerator. And I'm not saying that so I could just throw in plastic and bullshit, because I'd throw like mostly plant material into it, but it's like you're saying at the same time, it's like, no, it's so dangerous, and why would you do that?
Yeah. Why would you do this yourself?
Why would you do that at all? It just the danger behind it too. I could only imagine like sitting there with a bunch of circuit boards, like trying to like, you have like a painting respirator on, like, don't worry, it's all fine.
Yeah. Fucking ridiculous. I keep trying to tell them, I'm just like, hey, don't fucking do this at all. No matter what precautions you think you've taken and how well you've done it, it's an awful, awful idea. I told him it is toxic to even have a huge amount of circuit boards just laying around in a pile. Like, the entire town will become toxic if you have a big pile of this shit in the middle of the town, even if you don't burn any of it. You're gonna get fucking polluted by it.
That's like the one thing I actually really hate about living in the city, because I live right under a fucking I don't know what you want to call it, an airline, like all the
Itch, I got a fucking story for you. Just give me 1 second.
but like all the airplanes like pass over my house to land, right? But it's like if I'm ever sitting here thinking I wanted to do like some progressive shit like a garden or whatever in the city, it's always like the worst idea. Like my backyard used to have cars sitting in it and shit. Fucking there's always just carcinogens nonstop dropping onto my fucking house. Maybe if that's how it works. But
Just don't have all that much stuff that's super bad.
I guess, but it's
Surprisingly, like motor oil is not great for the dirt and soil, but like it's not something that's gonna leave. Like your yard is fine.
it's gonna
Your
make a
yard is
difference in a
probably
sense,
fertile
though.
fucking farmland, honestly.
I mean, it's half and half.
This town that you need to you're gonna get obsessed with it. It was right across the river from me. It was called Times Beach, Missouri. It sounds like a wonderful place. It was owned by a newspaper, but there was a Northeastern pharmaceutical and chemical company that was operating nearby, and they were producing as a side effect like hexachlorophorphorpropordorpalene, and there was some chemical offshoot that was a garbage process of them making antibacterial soap, and they contracted a guy to get rid of it who said he was definitely getting rid of it the best way possible. Well, he noticed this shit was real oily. So he in this new town in Missouri, brand new town owned by a newspaper, like they didn't have roads yet, but he had this new chemical spray that would treat the gravel to make the gravel much stickier and much finer and better to drive on. And yeah, so it killed a lot of animals and people and got in the groundwater, and it's still toxic and people can't live there now. To this day. And all this guy was doing was just driving around in his pickup truck, just spraying chemical garbage on the ground. Hey, neighbor, your driveway. I noticed that's a gravel driveway. You want me to spray it with this question stuff?
At that point, you may as well just go
documentaries made
unload the
about it.
tank somewhere and leave it.
Yeah, Jer
There's
says, oh,
documentaries
Lavelle.
about it. There's a fucking thorough Wikipedia article. Times Beach, Missouri. It's like a 25-minute drive from me. Like you can still see abandoned buildings from the road and shit in the spring after the thaw, before the grass starts growing back. You can see, yeah, people aren't allowed over there. They don't have exits off the highway anymore.
Honestly, I just hate thinking about some abandoned
Yeah,
shit because
it's Chernobyl, right? Like it is Chernobyl, but like because it's not a nuclear accident and it's not Russia's fault, like we don't talk about it, right? Like, but it happened. It's right down the road from me. Like that is a multi-mile stretch of land, multiple square miles of land ruined for generations.
We
But
have
there's still,
abandoned
like,
asbestos.
the Army Corps of Engineers still comes through there every now and then to tag some animals and see how fucking oh yeah we fucked nature real hard.
I think I'm going to go and watch some stuff with the head crab.
Yeah, that's the scary parts. Oh yeah, I gotta get off and eat something anyways.
Oh yeah, I know about Centralia. Yeah,
it has been fun. I'll see you guys.
See ya.
Yeah, man, be good.
We'll just kick the Canadians out. Yeah, sure. Someday. We've been joking about that forever. I think the thing that people don't realize about Canadians is Canadians are really fucking redneck. As nice as they seem, they're really redneck. And I don't think Canada, at this rate, would ever fall. I'm pretty sure a lot of our Trump votes came from Canada. I'm just kidding. But yeah, fuck it. I'll get off for the night.
All right, buddy.
But thanks, Necro. We fucking did this. I don't know if this is anything that people are going to want to listen to, but gave it a try.
Can I download it and try my hand at editing it?
Yeah, go for it. No, you're not allowed. But yeah, I'll fucking get off, and I'm glad you enjoyed, Jer. But I'll be back tomorrow. I think I'm gonna try to play some StarCraft. Dwarf Fortress fucking... I tried to launch it with all the mods and it kept crashing, so I took all the mods back out.
Oh, you might have overdone it on the mods.
Yeah, I always do.
Like I put a few in, I'm having no problems.
I put a
Like,
bunch
it's getting
in,
along with me just great.
like over 20.
Like now, I'm still rejecting like 1,000 worlds a second though because of my fucking like. It's got to be all mountains with rivers and trees growing in the mountains with no hills. I want nothing but sheer cliffs.
I don't need hills. I need drop-offs. I need Wile E. Coyote bullshit.
Yeah. I want by the like if I stand at the bottom of this waterfall, I want the terminal velocity of that water to fucking peel the skin off of me.
I'm making jungle dwarves this time, and I dug so many weird places and I couldn't find a way down, and I finally found a way down because I said light aquifers, but they were fucking everywhere. But I finally found a way down, and I don't care if these dwarves go crazy, but I made a small world, and I did a 4x4 embark, and I only turned off fucking werebeasts again. Hopefully it works, because the werebeasts still killed me when I had them turned off. But I just dug down, and we're going to try to be extravagant fucking jungle dwarves. We are going to make mango and lime and coconut fucking whiskeys and rums and shit. We're going to be the tropical dwarf dream. And I'm when I say we're gonna try to be really fancy, I'm building the rooms as I think it's a 6x6 tile set. I'm gonna fucking try to give them all immaculate bedrooms, and I push
Jamaican nicknames,
but I pushed the population up to 400, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
your poor computer.
Yeah, well, I was already chugging on. I tried to do a 16x16 embark, right, and I hit fucking. It was the mountain I was telling you about, and I hit the fucking 2 different biomes, and there's just too much shit going on. Like, it was huge. And when you hit those different underground biomes, there's the cave swallows and shit, the birds that are just flying around. So yeah. There was too much. It was chugging. I was like, all right, I gotta dial it back. But all right, good night, fucking Necro, and I'll tomorrow StarCraft maybe. I might just go through it because I want to enjoy the storyline again. See if I can enjoy it. Like I did as a boy.
Yeah, I'll just be playing probably a lot of Dwarf Fortress and a bunch of other dumb shit I'm sure anyway.
Where?
I'm playing Dwarf Fortress right fucking now.
I don't blame you. All right, night, man.
Dude, I'll catch you soon.
All right.